Good morning, guys. My name is Donald. The reason I'm not sporting the anonymous mask just yet, Guy Fawkes up here, or going by my normal moniker of Don Anonymous, is because I kind of wanted to give a special introduction to this response that I'm going to post. It's my first response to any video on YouTube, and it's a special one because it's a response to a video that has responses blocked, and comments need to be approved by the uploader before they're posted. Now, I have a certain opinion about people like these who block off discussion in their own videos even though their video opposes a certain view. I'll get to that just now. You see, this person, Christ, or something Christistruth1 or some crap like that, basically posted that that there was some sort of an issue with the definition of atheism, as defined by the atheist community and essentially anyone else who does not hold the belief in a God. Now, this person is stating that atheists basically cannot hold a certain viewpoint of atheism without claiming knowledge, and a few other fallacies like that. So this video will essentially be to debunk those claims and to set us on the, well, not the proper, but the colloquial term of what atheism is, what the semantics of it are, and what the reality is of our universe and the way we define belief. Those of you who know me, you may want to leave the room depending on your faith and possibly pray, because the things that I'm going to say in this video are not too generous towards those of faith. However, if you find that you are strong enough in your faith and willing to compare your beliefs to the truth, you might want to stay and maybe learn a little something. I'm going to go ahead and get this started. Let's hope it doesn't screw up like last time. I'm going to jump right in. So, again, this is a video response to Christistruth1's initial video.
Christistruth1 needs to shift the burden of proof from atheist mentality to a burden of reason in order to cover the fact that atheism is the lack of belief in a deity. Before I believed in unicorns, I did not believe in unicorns. Christistruth1 further fails to explain their position by assuming that there is a way beyond the evidential lack of belief. If I am not a smoker and do not know what cigarettes are, I am a non-smoker even before knowledge of a cigarette. Learn to grammar, people. Atheism is not trivialized by expanding our observations of where it actually exists as a lack of belief. There can be non-philosophical reasons for philosophical positions. For example, I am not a supporter of gay marriage or any kind of marriage before birth because I have not the chance to explore it. That means I am without marital values thanks to a physical limitation that is outside of my own volition. So it is a reason that is physical rather than the one Christistruth proposes, one of choice. Christistruth goes on to pretend that her opponent has not emphasized and validated her points concurrently. Let me restate the baby example. As a baby, you are born without belief. What do we call this lack of belief? That's right, boys and girls, that view is atheistic despite knowledge or sociological reason. Also, Christistruth, if your semantic argument falls so flat that you have to attack your opponent by stating that she's shifting the definition to suit yourself, maybe you should reanalyze the term atheist rather than appeal to grammatical loopholes and lack of knowledge on the subject. I'm only gonna say this once, Christistruth, your lack of understanding of the term atheism is duly noted, as is the actual definition of the term, as it pertains to our society, despite bought definitions and presumed falsehoods. Atheism is a position which lacks belief or rejects belief in a deity. A person is not required to reject a deity if disbelief exists before the rejection. Think logically now. If you were never offered a pack of cigarettes, would you be a smoker? At this point, the maker of the video decides to actually crack open a dictionary but her selectiveness of definition has not changed. The semantic argument continues, and atheism continues to be the default position regardless of her lack of awareness on the subject. As much as many people love to use the dictionary, many of us within the intellectual community realize that it is not infallible, just like many other things about your argument. With a little skullduggery and false equivocation, a coward could take one or two words out of context, the word doctrine, for example, and try to spin it so as to change the definition of what an atheist is. Unfortunately for these cowards, the nature of atheism is true within nature, and within those who actively reject deities/fictions. I also have to point out how hilarious it is that after scraping the bottom of the barrel for actual arguments, the best that Christistruth1 could come up with is this little quip about her opponent's choice of words. Again, this argument proves nothing, and only supports the atheist view on any position by showing how irreverently ignorant other positions are. Congratulations, Christistruth1, you've managed to quote a famous scientist correcting his own view to suit a reality that we coexist in. The definition and word atheist and atheism is still the lack of a belief in a deity, whether that lack of belief comes from active research or by default position. Let me clarify the burden of proof and why it pertains to theists and deists in this example. When children are born, the default is not to accept any particular denomination, no matter how much people, like Christistruth, like to cover their ears and scream that it is. Therefore, it is the non-special burden of proof of the deist/theist to prove that there is a deity in order for belief to be established as a default. The next quip is on the subject of agnosticism, wherein Christistruth1 decides for herself that only from a position of knowledge can any belief be unbelieved. While this is pretty wordplay, an agnostic, while not knowing, still acts on beliefs in an atheistic matter, unless that person actively accepts a deistic viewpoint on a particular subject. Atheism, though not being a claim of knowledge, does not require knowledge to be adopted. One must merely not act as though a god exists through one's beliefs. A tiger is atheistic in this respect, which is not beyond the scope of those who see the world with open minds. Babies are atheistic too. It is not irrelevant to reality that the term atheist would encompass the views of those who do not act as though there is a deity, since belief in a deity is required to be theist. The lack thereof is an atheistic viewpoint, so I find the term broadening completely justified in its truthfulness, unlike many religious claims. Christistruth, atheism does not cease to be a view simply because it is a view that does not require prior knowledge. As for your attempt to trivialize the term by associating it with babies and cats, though you would be correct in that they would be atheists if you were stupid enough to bring them into a conversation about theism. That's why we have positions such as positive atheism, strong atheism, weak atheism, etc. And while these splinter views are not encompassing of all of atheism, the basic definition remains the same, lacking the belief in a deity. This can be done by disbelieving, rejecting, or never believing at all. Atheism is not a psychological view specifically, as it pertains to only matters of theology, even in the context of little babies or cute bunny rabbits. As to your lie about atheists not meeting their burden of proof, I'm afraid that the burden of proof is on par with proving that Harry Potter, unicorns, and pixies are not real. That being said, the atheist position has proven itself as one of default nature, and in those who choose to further investigate, one of circumstantial knowledge and understanding. Scientific atheists and others who have similar views have met the burden of proof required to report these findings, as even babies do not believe in God. His absence within every facet of our observable universe, and even in the data projections of those beyond, are more than enough to cement a proven knowledgeable claim of no existing deities, as presented by any major religions, especially Christianity. I'm forgetting what Christistruth1's argument was now, probably because most of it was debunked within a few minutes. For a full recap of Christistruth1's phenomenal display of a lack of knowledge and understanding of theology, please check out the link in the description. With any luck, you will be disappointed. This is Donanon signing off.